Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's Policy Committee meeting. We're here. It's January 15th, 2025. Where approximate time is about 1:32. Meeting should start at 1:30. Meeting location, we're here at the City of Laredo Council Chambers, 1110 Houston Street. We're going to go ahead and start with getting this meeting to order, and our chairperson to call roll, please.
Thank you, Judge. We'll have Ms. Briones call roll.
Yes, good afternoon. Mayor Dr. Victor D. Trevino, Judge Tano E. Tijerina,
Present.
Councilmember Ricardo Rangel Jr.,
Present.
Councilmember Ruben Gutierrez, Councilmember Vanessa Perez,
Present.
Commissioner Jesse Gonzalez,
Present.
Commissioner John Galo, Mr. Epigmenio Epi Gonzalez,
Present.
Mr. Jed Brown.
Present.
You do have a quorum, Judge.
Very good. Would you like to move?
Yes, I'll move a motion to exclude those members that are not present today.
Second. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, let's go ahead and get to the meat and potatoes. Item number 4, items requiring policy committee action. Item A, 4A is approval of the minutes for the meeting held on November 20th, 2024. This is actually this is our first meeting for 2025.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Second. Motion seconds. Any other questions, comments? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 4B, that's going to be receive public testimony and approve resolution number MPO 2025-01, adopting the 2025-2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan. A presentation will be provided by representatives of WSP. What does WSP mean?
The consultants.
Oh.
All right. Thank you all. Good afternoon. Happy New Year.
Are you a consultant?
No, I'm not. WSP are the consultants, and LJ are those
I got you.
sub-consultants.
Don't worry about it.
So in November, we did present to you the draft Metropolitan Transportation Plan, 25-year plan, the framework for our transportation policy here in the region. We did provide public comment period. We received some comments. We've incorporated that into this final draft of the Metropolitan Transportation Plan. So what we're going to do here today is just hear the presentation and hopefully adopt our plan and then forward it to FHWA for their approval. Again, this is a plan core document for the MPO, and it's something that is a living document that can be amended also different times, but it's a framework for the next 25 years in our region. So I did want to introduce Ms. Emily Tedford from WSP, who will be presenting on the MTP final document.
There's a consultant.
Hi, everyone. As Juan said, my name is Emily Tedford, and I am from the firm WSP. We prepared.
What does the acronym stand for? I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know.
Okay.
That's why we put WSP.
Yeah, they're kind of like IBM, like very heavy on the acronym. Not a lot of people know what it actually stands for, I think. So yeah, today we're here to kind of update you for the final time, hopefully, on the MTP process. We're going to go through some of repeat information from last time in November, but we'll go through the background, the schedule. I have the project list. We also have the illustrated project list, which is our unfunded needs. We'll give you a quick summary of public meeting 2, and then we'll hopefully be able to adopt the MTP, and then we'll end with a few next steps. So just as kind of a reminder, I'm sure we all know this at this point, the MTP is a 20-year or longer plan, updated every 5 years. Our plan is 25 years. The purpose is to establish those long-term agenda for the region, and a main piece of it is that it's fiscally constrained, which is why we have the unfunded needs as a separate illustrative list. So kind of in the schedule, we started in the spring of 2024, collecting baseline data. Into the summer, we started our needs analysis, and also had our survey open during this point. Into the fall, we had our project list in development. We evaluated our projects, and we also held our second public meeting and opened that final public comment period with the draft available for the public. And then that leads us to here, where we have closed the public comment period. We've collected and incorporated that into the final plan, and hopefully we are going to be able to adopt the plan today. And as Juan mentioned, even though we're kind of coming to a place where it's going to be adopted, it is a living document. It can be updated over the next 5 years as needed. So this is the fiscally constrained project list. The bottom 6 projects are the 6 projects that were added this MTP that are funded. The top 15 projects come from previous MTPs or other plans and have already been funded. This is the same list, just with a map attached to it. The projects in the kind of pink magenta color are the ones that were selected as part of this MTP process and are those fiscally constrained at the bottom in green. This is the illustrated project list, which I've mentioned is our unfunded needs list. These are projects that are important to the region but do not currently have funding. They're included here as priorities for the region as funding does come available. And then just kind of a quick summary of our public meeting 2 that we had just before the holidays. We held it at the public library. We had, I think, about 40 people attend. It was a big group. The final selected and illustrated project lists were presented with the community, and members of the public were invited to submit their comments on the draft MTP from November 20th to December 9th. We received 13 comments from the public, and as mentioned, they were incorporated into the final draft. This is just kind of a note for how the projects are investing into equity goals. So the Vision Zero Web Laredo came up with these equity tier zones. As you can see on the map, they range from tier 0 to tier 3 with having the most need. And then we kind of have a breakdown of how the funding projects are supporting those tiers. So of the selected projects, we have just over 200 million in tier 1, and then about 170 million in tier 2. So about 45% in that tier 2 and about 55% in tier 1. Of all the projects on that, all 3 lists, the illustrative, selected, and programmed, we have about 17 million in the tier 3 zone, so the highest need, about 1%, but the bulk of our projects are going to be in those tier 1 and tier 2 zones. So today I'm here to request the policy committee to adopt Laredo Metropolitan Transportation Plan 2025 to 2050.
Any questions or comments, colleagues?
No.
All right,
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
Motion second. Any other questions, comments? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Just a few next steps. As a reminder that the MTP will now go to the Federal Highway Administration to review and approve the plan. And then just one final reminder that it is a living document. It can be updated as needed over the next 5 years. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I was just gonna add, thank you, Emily. So the plan, we did put that on your computer too, the final plan. We're also gonna be printing out some copies, now that it's adopted, so you all can have some hard copies. But that document, it's on in your packet. You have the link to the full document. We also put the tab there for the full document, so it's a pretty lengthy document, over 200 pages. So there's a lot of policy recommendations, things that we'll be doing next steps. I know one of the things that we looked at through this was the expansion of the MPO boundary too. So I think that's the next step that we're gonna do, start exploring our boundaries, as part of what we're seeing and, the development that we're seeing in our community. So that's one of the next steps. But thank you all. Thank you to the policy committee and our stakeholders, their consultants, everybody else involved in this effort. It was more than a year long. So we're excited to get to this point, and now hopefully we'll get the FHWA approval pretty soon.
Very good, thank you. So we'll move on to item 5, reports and presentations. There are no action required on these 2. The status report on the RMA, Regional Mobility Authority. Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Judge. In your packet, we like to include updates on the projects that we're working on. I'll quickly go over them because there's been a lot going on in the last 60 days. The Vallecillo overpass, about a week ago, TxDOT had a meeting with the RMA to visit about the overpass, and although we're not the project sponsor on that specific project, we're very involved with TxDOT on that. TxDOT has redesigned the overpass from what it was expected to be maybe 6 to 9 months ago to an enhanced overpass. We salute and applaud the way Epi and Roberto and Ana and the entire team at TxDOT looked at that. For that overpass to work right, they've done an enhanced overpass. With that, meant the addition of more right-of-way needed on the west side of Interstate 35, about 10 acres. TxDOT asked us to work with them and to go to the Killam's for the additional acreage to be donated to help along I-35 and to widen the project as it approaches Interstate 35, the roadway portion that's City of Laredo roadway. The good news is Cliff Killam agreed to donate the additional right-of-way, and he also agreed to work so that all of the right-of-way is donated, hopefully at one time and not parceled out in different sections. So that'll help expedite the project. I know, Anna, that was a request you made in the last meeting, and so that's moving along. I believe there's a meeting tomorrow and then a meeting here in about, I'm trying to remember, well, actually it's next month, but there's a meeting next Tuesday with the City of Laredo to work on the project. Things are moving along. The only thing that I would like to report is with the additional right-of-way that's needed means we have to go back and work on the environmental documents, so it'll take longer. That could push the project back 6 to 9 months with additional 10 acres. In the big picture, it's the right thing to do because the overpass needs to be designed the right way to complement the roadway. So that's an update on the overpass. Springfield 4 in Concord Hills, I see Ramon Chavez is here. I'll give updates. Even though these are city projects, we've got $1 million contributed to each project. The good news on Springfield 4 is that TxDOT has already constructed the portion that's adjacent to Loop 20. Now it's up to the City of Laredo to build the portion that I believe it's 300 to 400 feet that has to connect from what's been constructed already to the part that TxDOT's built that will open up Springfield all the way from Loop 20 to, would it be Shiloh? So we've allocated up to $1 million to the city to do that. The bids come in tomorrow. So whatever those bids come in, I anticipate they're going to be way under that amount. And that project should hopefully let soon and be constructed soon. Concord Hills, that's a project that affects you and South Laredo. That project's moving along. My understanding is that on the agenda for the February City Council meeting on the 18th, the donation agreement documents with the 3 landowners and the surveys that go along with them are part of that agenda item so that the city will move that project along. We have $1 million in that. The primary developer in that area has agreed to pay for the engineering. That's Donato Ramos and his partners. That's about a $400,000 contribution they're doing to get that moving along. So I think that project will get really good traction really quickly. On the 2 TRZs for Cuatro Vientos and North Laredo, they're also on the agenda for the 18th, I believe. The Cuatro Vientos TRZ is the actual implementation, which is the next phase to move it along. The RMA, working through its consultant, will work with the City of Laredo now to implement the actual TRZ, the boundary there. We'll make sure to share that map with you, council member. And for North Laredo, the item on the agenda would be the study, to approve an ILA to conduct the study. Council member Pettis, need to make sure to look at that map before we adopt it. So since it's all in your district, we need to make sure that we're looking at the areas that you and the planning department feel are the right areas to make sure that are studied. So we can meet about that later. And then the Vallecillo Road project, I've given an update tied to it with the overpass. It's moving along. If we hit all of our marks, and I know the big question is, when would the road open? And we're looking at summer of 29. I know that sounds like a long ways away. I watched that with the char. Things just never happen as quickly as we like, but that's the date we're looking at. If we hit all of our marks, which our goal is to hit all of our marks. And then Safe Streets for All. If you, the mayor, would agree, next month we can come back and give a presentation on the final findings of that report. We're getting our first presentation to the RMA at our board meeting a week from Monday. That's kind of the trial run of the consultants to let us know their findings. Once we hear that and kind of fine tune it, we'd like to come back in and give maybe a 10-minute presentation to you all to ask as many questions as the members want.
Very good. Any questions or comments, colleagues? We're good there? Thank you for the RMA doing that. Status, okay, the next status report is gonna be on from TxDOT project updates.
Okay, good afternoon, Jose Vargas, Laredo Engineer.
Good afternoon.
Give a brief summary of the ongoing construction projects that we have in the Laredo office. So quick overview, we currently have about 830 million on active contracts. That totals 22 projects. Scope of the projects, full reconstructions, widening of system bridges, reconstruction to interstate standards like Loop 20, safety projects, illumination and traffic signals, mill and inlay and overlay projects for, again, preventive maintenance. So I'm going to concentrate on the, big projects that are within the boundaries of the MPO, starting with US 59. Again, contractor is James Construction Group. Total investment is 340 million. We're currently working on drainage structures, excavation, embankment, and we started last week on removing some median in Loop 20. For now, we can only expect 9 closures. So we are removing the median to allow the shift of lanes so we can cross these culverts along Loop 20 between Jackman and University and Delmore and Shiloh. No major impacts to traffic until maybe end of February, early March. Our coordinator currently to make sure that I notify the city and all the stakeholders on these closures. SH84, typically known as Charruthinger Road, contractor Weber, project cost 122 million, expected completion for 2027. Contractor continues clearing right of way, excavation, embankment. We're already doing some bridge work, columns, caps. You see some pictures there. We expect, weather, depending on weather, but we plan to start hanging some beams at the end of this month or early February in one of the structures. So we're gonna start seeing some bridge work already in that corridor. SH359 widening, Anderson Columbia, total investment 50 million, expected completion spring of 2026. We shifted traffic last month on 3 miles to the new intermediate layer of hot mix while we construct the other side of the roadway. So we're already removing some existing pavement. On the other 2.5 miles, we continue with drainage structures. We already have some bays, so as soon as we wrap up the drainage structures, we're gonna complete the traffic switch on the other portion of the highway to work on the other half. Lomas del Sur, this project was led on November of last year. We still don't have a pre-construction schedule, but we anticipate starting this project in the spring of this year. February, March, we expect to see a contractor there. And again, this is wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is supposed to be a dot.
It's 49 million.
40 something, 42?
45
I'm
million.
like, that's a bridge.
Yeah,
Like 42.
yeah. I clicked on another zero there. Just checking if we were paying attention.
Oh, we were paying attention, all right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Lomas del Sur. Again, the successful contractor was Anderson Columbia.
Jose, Cat 7 is gonna make up the difference, right?
Yeah. Apologies about that.
We'll throw in some extra.
Okay, this is just outside of the boundary, but eventually it's gonna connect to the portion of 255 that is within the MPO boundaries. This is a full reconstruction project of SH 255, 8 miles from 35 going west. We're also adding Super Twos. We had the pre-construction meeting today with Anderson Columbia. So they're gonna start already mobilizing equipment, seeing some structure work next week. Probably around March, we should start seeing some work already being performed on the actual roadway.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
On this particular one, is it off of 35, off of 83, off of
Of
Las Tiendas, off of Columbia Bridge? Where's it coming from?
8 miles starting on IH 35 going west.
Towards the
Little
bridge.
Yeah, towards Jeffries Road.
Yeah.
That's close to the limit. So starting from 35 going west.
But that's not 8 miles, though. From 35 to Jeffries Road is not 8 miles.
Passing.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
the
okay.
project is 8 miles.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like 4.5
Giving you
miles. Okay.
like a reference, a reference on.
I live there,
approximately
so it's my
where
backyard, so
I know.
I kinda have an idea.
Yeah, so a total of 8 miles of full reconstruction with passing lanes.
Okay.
And that's pretty much the status. Again, just sharing the message in the street. We're out there, so we can share the message. Use your seatbelts and slow down during construction zones. So, questions?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you so much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, give me 1 second, let me see.
Judge, I was gonna mention that I think we didn't do the citizen comments at the beginning. I don't think there's any, but just to make sure that we ask them.
Yeah, good thing is none of the citizens have any comments, so we're good.
Judge, if I can.
Yes.
I just want to say that I'm very happy to see those projects, and it looks like we're going to see a lot of completion in 2027. So I think it'd be good to kind of keep that momentum for the. So we're going to have a lot of celebrating to do, but we want to keep it going so that we can have more completions and but I'm very excited to see 2 projects in the Mines Road area and in the south too. So
I might add something,
We're
just
expanding.
seeing, I'm going to piggyback off of my colleague is saying, is that coming into the MPO, now I'm seeing the changes that we wanted to see in the South Laredo, having that overpass is starting in spring, so it's going to be something very healthy for our community, which is going to be able to alleviate a lot of traffic from 83 and then Lomas del Sur. So hopefully, we see these projects, I get to see them next year, hopefully we do get to see them, finished.
Yeah, a lot of these projects have been successful because of the partnerships. So like a Char Ruthinger and Lomas del Sur, this body did put CAT 7 money towards those projects. That's an important part to mention.
It's one of our major accidents area, right, is Loma del Sur?
Yeah, Cuatro Vientos.
Cuatro Vientos as well. Yeah, okay. So, any other questions, comments, communications, guys? Anything? Shall we chat?
Well, I'll piggyback a little bit on what was said. Epi, we've seen the work that was done on the repaving or the resurfacing on Cuatro Vientos. The striping does make a difference. I know you mentioned it a couple months back that it was gonna be a little bit wider. It is visible. You can see the difference, so that definitely helps.
Yeah, it's a noticeable difference.
It is,
absolutely.
especially when it's dark and raining, you can definitely see the striping.
And I do want to also make another point, Jose. We are installing a traffic signal under I guess our highway safety improvement program, and it's at what is the intersection 3338 and Mines Road.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You know what? That's long overdue.
33, 38.
Peñitas,
Oh,
the entrance.
and you're
of
putting a what?
Traffic signal.
Oh, that's about time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it kind of curves around there, either past it or before, and that's where accidents also happen.
Yeah.
Lomas is 49 million, and as part of the safety enhancements, we're also installing concrete barrier.
Yes, I remember the city was able to,
Okay.
definitely.
Going back to Lomas, we're also doing high mass illumination as part of that overpass. So that whole area is also going to get some illumination. So.
Great to hear.
All right, motion to adjourn?
Second.
Thank you.
Any opposed?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
You got something?